All right, Anthony on Air podcast back for another episode. This insane story of this young lady that was kicked off a Southwest Airlines flight. Not the first time they've done this. We'll get into that. Plus, it looks like Howard Stern's deal is not exactly a done deal. And the president of the United States just dropped an old expletive on the Rush Limbaugh show. So we'll get into that as well. Frankie C, J Sabs out, Cuddles in. You can't see her, but you can hear her. How you doing, Cuddles?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. We're still waiting on Ghislaine Maxwell document dump, so that's for another day. But a little bit of fun stuff for you today here. Southwest Airlines passenger said she was removed from her flight because her top was deemed lewd, obscene, and offensive. So she was removed from the flight. I got to be honest with you. I don't really, and for those of you that are listening, this is more of a visual for our Facebook and YouTube audience. She's just wearing a regular top. It's not like, it's not the most lewd thing in the world, right, babe? Can you see that? I know it's a little.
What does it say?
That's her top right there. She looks like she's wearing a bikini top.
Oh.
I mean, if anything, it's not appropriate. You might be freezing your rear end off there, but that's not inappropriate to wear in a public setting. That seems a little crazy. But my favorite part of this is the pilot who comes to save the day as the most smooth Rico Suave pilot in the planet. So what happens is they kick her off the flight. They say that her chest is too lewd. So she's standing outside and she's complaining, obviously. She's causing a bit of a scene because she doesn't think that what she's wearing is inappropriate. The flight attendant goes to look up and find where their dress code is. I don't know if there was a complaint on the plane from like another passenger or if this was the flight attendant complaining. I'm not sure what happened here, but it just seems crazy that somebody would complain about this to begin with. So she's like, hey, if you want to remove me, you got to show me in your rules that it says that I can't wear this sort of a top. So they're going to look that up. And in the meantime, the captain of the flight, the pilot, the guy who's going to fly the plane, comes on over and says just about the smoothest thing that you could possibly say. I feel like the guy is almost looking for a date. This is what he said.
I don't take this lightly at all.
So I don't know if you can really hear it because he says it kind of but he says they're hating on you because you're looking good. Is that right?
Oh, come on.
It's very suave. Let me play it again and see if we can hear it this time.
They're hating on you because you're looking good. Is that right?
I don't take this lightly at all. I would like to get on my plane.
So I don't know. I think they're looking up.
They've been looking it up for 25 minutes, and the flight is supposed to leave in 5.
I got you. We will. I mean, I'm here.
Hello. Yeah, what is
Who are you?
You from
I'm the captain.
Great.
Oh, God.
So she goes, I don't want to miss my flight. And he goes, well, I'm here. And she goes, who are you? And he's like,
That's so creepy.
he's like, I'm the captain. Like this guy. And by the way, he's doing the creepy guy, not the creepy guy, but he's doing the I'm suave lean, like one elbow back lean.
Oh, God. It wouldn't be creepy if when he walked up to her, he's like, hi, I'm the captain, so-and-so, and then said, then made that joke. But he came over with that like he was hitting on her.
He's hitting on her from the get.
Oh, 100%.
Like from the get. My man is going to be in a foreign city tonight and wants a date. That's the attitude this guy came over with. You know what I'm saying? He's got a one night layover and he wants to lay over in her her room. Yeah. He wants to check her baggage, if you know what I mean there.
Okay, enough.
All right, I think we're good. Yeah, but basically that's what he did. So he was kind of saying like, look, they're looking it up, and she was like, you better show me, where it says. And he basically says to her, he goes, look, I actually thought he was a really reasonable guy in this instance. He goes, look, if they do find it and you do have to cover up, do you have something? And she wouldn't really answer. She was like, hey, look, I want to see it in the rules first. And he was like, okay, what wound up happening was he wound up giving her one of his shirts so that she could wear it, so that she could get on the flight.
Because then she has to talk to him again because she has to give him back the shirt at the end of the flight, and he can like slip her his number.
Yeah, this is his move. Maybe this was his move from the get. Maybe he went over to the stewardess and like, psst, see that hottie over there? Kick her off the plane so I could come in and save the day.
He made the complaint, not anyone else on the flight.
This is all a setup so Kirk, the pilot, could get a date. That's what this is.
I mean, I get on a flight and I have 4 layers on.
I know.
I freeze.
I know. I'm with you. It's usually pretty cold on a plane, but this is how. Look, she's wearing like a bathing suit top. This is not anything that's like the fact that they pulled her aside is completely absurd. There's no like she has every right to be upset.
Yeah.
She held her cool. If she would have freaked out more than this, I would have still been on her side because she's not wrong. But she actually did say something pretty hysterical as they were trying to sort it out towards the end here. Let me see. So they're trying to figure out. So she says, I need something to put on here. Hold on. Let's pick it up here.
You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a way to you. I don't want to go without you. You don't want to go. You know what I mean? If that's the rule.
By the way, did you hear that? He goes, I don't want to go without you. You don't want to go without you. And she got a little laugh. She's starting to work.
Right.
You have a shirt, or you want me to get you one of mine? If that's what it means, if you get on or not. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a way to you. I don't want to go without you. You don't want to go. You know what I mean? If that's the rule, what can we do to fix it?
I need something to put on. I'm just very curious as to what the rule is. Like, what does it say?
Yeah, let's find out.
I have to leave my titties at home? Obviously not.
That was hysterical.
Yeah, her name is Kayla. So Kayla, very, very funny. Very unfortunate that this happened to her. This should not have happened to her.
No.
She should not have been singled out for this. She did take a selfie of herself on the plane wearing the captain's shirt. Surprise, surprise. He's wearing it's a Boys of Summer shirt, some sort of baseball. Big shocker there that the pilot has some sort of a shirt like that. So she was allowed to go on the plane. Reps for Southwest Airlines said that they reached out to her directly to apologize for her experience and provided her a refund of her fare as a gesture of goodwill. She probably can get away with a lot more than that. I don't know if she's got a lawsuit on her hands. I don't know if it's that big, but she's probably get a couple of free flights out of this or something. Because there's, she was definitely wrong. There's no reason for this sort of.
Yeah.
Again, it's not like she's wearing something that's like out of the the realm of appropriateness. She was all covered up.
Covered.
It's a lot of cleavage, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a lot of cleavage.
I don't think she looks bad at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. That is a really long skirt though for the amount of cleavage that she has out.
Yeah, I think she looks fine.
Maybe she gets leg cold and not top cold. Some people are kind of. I like a little sweatshirt. I could wear a sweatshirt and a pair of shorts. I'm one of those guys. As long as my top's warm, my bottom is fine. Maybe she's the other way around. Maybe she's got to have those legs covered up, and her top's fine.
Sweatshirt.
Yeah.
T-shirt. Socks. Full sneakers. Good for her.
Yeah. So I mean, I've never seen this before. I was on a plane one time where the guy in front of me stunk. Did not shower. This is when I was like a little kid. I was on with my mother and my father. My father was sitting next to the guy. So there were 2 rows. It was my father, the guy, the stinky guy. Then it was me, my mother, and some really nice woman. But this woman would not. She was like, I am not flying on this plane with this guy in front of me. And my father was like sitting next to him, but he couldn't smell it. So my father kept saying, he was like, I think the air conditioning vents were like just blowing his stink back towards her because she, but we were smelling it too. And they graciously, they were like, hey, can we see your ticket, sir? And they're like, oh, can you come with us? They got him off the plane. I don't know if they made him shower somewhere or what they did, but God bless him. He stunk.
Ugh,
Like hadn't taken a shower in like a week and had been
that's
working
wrong.
outdoors in a stink farm. Stunk. Like that's how bad it was.
Ugh.
I've never seen. Have you ever seen anybody removed from a plane for anything crazy?
No.
Yeah. This is definitely a weird one. I think back to the Kevin Smith one though. You remember that when he was too fat to fly on Southwest?
And I love Southwest.
They are so good, but I think, like between the Kevin Smith and this thing, I think it just goes to show you that like you get employees that have off days, bad days, or they're in a bad mood, or they just got screamed at, or
They're
fought with
human too.
they're people too. They fought with their husband, their wife, whatever it is. They come in here and somebody rubs them the wrong way or is whatever and looks a certain way, and that's and that's it. I mean, the weird thing is like I remember like when Kevin Smith. The only reason why Kevin Smith is a film director, by the way. He was a pretty hefty guy. He's lost a lot of weight since he had a heart attack. He's doing a lot better now, but he got kicked off a Southwest Airlines flight a couple of years ago, and then he tweeted about it, and it caused this huge thing, and it became like a whole big thing. But what I find interesting now is back then, and that was only less than 10 years ago, 5 years ago, it took a celebrity to get that sort of thing noticed. Now, any average person on Twitter can like make something like this go viral.
Yeah. That's what social media will do.
That's what social media will definitely do. So to Kayla, sorry you were wronged in this particular instance. You really didn't do anything wrong, but hopefully Southwest does right by her and makes it up to her. I'll tell you who's doing right by me, and that's our good pals over at Hero Soap Company. They sponsor this episode. This is the best soap I have ever had. Now, my wife is finally on with us, and she can attest to this. This comes in a weather-sealed, super nice, really premium. Everything is premium. This bar soap is premium. The packaging is premium. This comes in this super nice, like, weatherproof bag, so it doesn't get ruined in shipping, right? When I got the soap and I opened it up for the first time and I smelled it, I was like, oh, my God, that smells pretty good. I use the peppermint. That's my favorite one. I put it in my bathroom. I left. I came back. I go into my bedroom, our bedroom. Place smells like a spa. You know that like wonderful, like relaxing spa aroma that they have in every spa?
Yes.
That little tiny bar of soap in our shower made. Now, my wife is here. She can attest to this. Is this not the truth?
It is. When I walked into our room, you have to like pass the bathroom to get into the room. I got like a waft of peppermint, and I'm like, where did that come from? And it was the soap. I was like, wow. And it's still going.
Still going after.
Right? I still smell it when I walk past the bathroom into the bedroom.
Yeah. After all the uses, it still has a nice aroma in the bathroom. So it's almost like a 2-for-1. You get a great soap and you get an air freshener that doesn't have like bad, air freshenery stuff in it. Here is the QR code. So if you're watching and you have your phone, you could open up the camera app on any device, Google, Android, Apple. Open up the camera app and just point it at the QR code there. It'll take you right to the Hero Company Soap Store. Or you can go to the link in the description, or you can click the banner on the homepage of anthonyonair.com. They make the best soap, and they're called Hero Soap Company because they're made right here in America by a veteran-owned company. And when you buy a bar of soap, they send a bar of soap to an active member of the military. And then they take some of the proceeds and they help build mortgage-free homes for veterans. So not only are you getting an amazing product, but you're also helping our troops who fight for us every single day to give us our wonderful freedoms. And you're also helping those who are finished with their fight and are now looking to transition into life, and you can make their life a little bit better for what they have done for us. So Hero Soap Company is just phenomenal. It's a great product. The best soap I've ever used. That's what I say. They say, let freedom clean. I like both sayings a lot. And if you sign up for their subscription, you can get 20% off when you use the promo code Anthony. That's 20% off when you use the promo code Anthony on a subscription. You can decide how much soap you want delivered to your home, however often you want. You could fully customize the plan, and they will execute that for you. So that's Hero Soap Company. That's our good pals over there. We thank them for their support of the podcast. And again, every bar of soap that you buy through our links goes to support the Anthony on Air podcast, which we truly do appreciate. Last episode, we discussed Howard Stern was close to signing a $120 million deal with Sirius. As it turns out, he says that these reports that were in Bloomberg, so pretty reputable source, are completely not true. He said on his show Wednesday morning after the report came out, "I've seen no contract. I have heard nothing about this money." He said, "I'm ready to take that deal if I can get it," joking on the air. It sounded awesome. But he said that he called his agent after there were reports surfacing, and they were both pretty baffled by it. That's a little strange because I know some people were even accusing the Stern camp of leaking out this information. I don't know why, in the hopes of getting a deal done or forcing somebody else's hand. You know, the thing with these things is unless you're an athlete, and even in the case of an athlete sometimes, if you see a story get leaked about a contract being signed, it's usually coming from one of the two sides.
Yeah.
Again, because unless there's an athlete involved or it's a big high profile free agent football signing or basketball signing or baseball or whatever, nobody is paying attention to these contract negotiations. Nobody knows what's happening other than the two parties that are doing the negotiating. You know, I mean, it's pretty rare. So when I left one radio station and went to another radio station, and I saw people writing all kinds of stuff about, you know, why I left or where I'm going, or maybe it's this and maybe it's that. And there were all sorts of things that I was reading, and it was kind of hilarious to go through that for once in my career, because it was like, where are people getting this stuff from? So I don't know where Bloomberg was getting this from or what the goal was here. Was it leaked by one of the sides? I'm not sure. Was it leaked by Stern and then he's playing it this way to be like, oh, you know, we don't know where this came from because he's just playing his part out? I really don't know. I think the part where he says I would take that deal now is a little telling, though, because to me that means that the real actual deal is nowhere near $120 million.
Yeah.
Which didn't really make sense to me to begin with, because the only reason why it does make sense is because Stern is the only player that Sirius XM has. That's it. Like, they don't, you know, he's their business. Everything else is fringe, and I know they got Oprah and the NFL and, you know, who knows this or that or whatever. There's other great entities in Sirius XM doing great work and contributing to the company, but like I said, he's about 80% of that company's, you know, whole deal. You can't have that walking out the front door. That's a lot of eggs in one basket for Sirius XM. So I could see them getting crazy and spending that much money. But for the current climate and what's going on, I was a little surprised to see it being that high, because the money's not really going there in the industry. The money is going towards podcasts. You know, everybody talks about Joe Rogan, you know, but it's not Joe Rogan. It's Bill Simmons sold his podcast to Spotify for $200 million. That was an outright purchase. It wasn't a licensing deal like Rogan had, but everybody is selling podcasts. They're not, you know, they're not doing these sort of huge deals, but Stern also said that, you know, he said, I didn't really talk to Spotify for too long. And Spotify said, a source familiar with Spotify's strategy says, and I quote, "There was never a serious pursuit of Stern by Spotify." Which is a little surprising, but at the same time, not that surprising, because they're going younger. They're going for youth. They're going for,
Yeah.
you know, outside of the Joe Rogans and the Bill Simmons who are established, that might be their only play. A lot of the other podcasts they go and buy, probably most people have never heard of, because they're doing strong podcasting numbers, but they're not on the old famous level of what Stern and Rogan and some of these other guys are doing fame-wise. Like, there are a lot of podcasts out there making a ton of money, and and you've never heard of them, and you don't need to, because that's the beauty of podcasts. They serve niches, you know. So we'll leave my wife there. She's got to run, and we'll cover our last topic, which is President Trump dropping an F expletive. Thank you, Snuggles, for being on with us.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right, we'll catch you next time.
All right.
There she goes. There goes Snuggles. Before we do that, before I tell you what the president said and how he said it, don't forget to visit the AnthonyOnAir.com store. We got our logo tee right there. Pretty nice. We even have these shirts that say, "Show me potato salad." Some of our catchphrases from over the years. I've been drinking out of this mug right here. This is our most popular design right now. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. If you love Billy Madison, you'll remember this key moment right there. So a lot of people are enjoying this design. We got a lot of designs there, and a lot of designs that we're going to be adding to the mix. So go to AnthonyOnAir.com, click on the store, and grab some items, grab some merch there. It all goes to help support the podcast as well, and you get some pretty cool swag. And we're going to be adding some fun things. So President Trump was on Rush Limbaugh today. I think they did like a 2-hour marathon or some, I don't know, they called it some wacky thing. It wasn't just a straight up like interview, like let's do 15-20 minute interview. I think it was like a long thing. And he dropped my man dropped the F-bomb straight up in the middle of the interview, which is a little surprising for a president of the United States to be dropping the F-bomb. A. B, you have to understand something too. It's a little shocking for me because I've made my living on radio for the most part before we really got into the full swing of the podcast here. And I've spent my entire life telling myself, don't curse on the air, don't curse on the air, don't curse on the air. And there's been a couple of close calls, even from my own standpoint, or interviewing people or whatever. There's been some close calls, but this one was unmistakable from the president.
Right. And Iran knows that, and they've been put on notice. If you fuck around with us, if you do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
All right, so it's not look, everybody's heard the F word. We say F words on the podcast. I don't say it on this podcast because YouTube has been very, very, between all the things that we cover here, they've come down pretty hard on us. So I try to limit the cursing on here, but there's nothing that we've never heard before. Again, like I said, I've spent my entire, the last 15 years of my career have been just don't curse on the air. Just whatever you do, don't curse on the air. Now, to be honest with you, I've played some things on the air and curse words of like songs or whatever that weren't edited properly before they got to me. It was, so I've been responsible for that. I'll admit everybody in radio has had that happen to them. But to actually hear it, it is like a little jarring for us radio guys. You're like, oh my goodness. In the grand scheme of things, I don't know if it's the biggest deal in the world, but I will say, I think this is something that certain members of the media, definitely members of the media that oppose President Trump, are going to hop all over and try and get. I don't know if the FCC can find the president of the United States. I don't think it's the guest that gets fined. I think it's Rush Limbaugh that would ultimately be fined for this. Rush, who, by the way, I know he's had some health issues, does not look good. He does not look good. I mean, definitely, he's getting up there in age. God bless him. But, he doesn't, he's looking really, he's looking pretty old and tired. He is looking pretty old and tired, as we all kind of are. I saw a picture of myself from 10 years ago today. That was rough. That was rough. There's a lot of things put in place online on social media to warn you of adult content or sensitive content. I feel like we need to put something in place that's get ready because here's a picture of you from 15 years ago. There needs to be some sort of, it shouldn't just come up in your feed. There should be something that you have to click and say, okay, I'm ready. I'm not drinking anything. I'm prepared to take on this photograph of me from 15 years ago. I'm just saying, Zuckerberg, if you're listening, there should be something in place. Jack, if you're out there on Twitter, it should be something in place to make that happen. Because, especially Facebook, they serve you up those memories of like, here's what you were doing 2 years ago. And that's not bad. But when they go like, here's 10 years ago, and you're like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. When you have that moment where you look at your wife and you go, who is that guy next to my wife? And then you go, oh, wait a second. It's me. Times are tough. Things are bad, So, so Rush is on, I think, just before the podcast, just before we do the podcast. And so that just happened moments ago. And I'm curious to see where it goes from here. Here's my thought on it. Look, Rush and I don't always line up politically. That doesn't really matter to me. He's a radio guy. I'm a radio guy. I'm a free speech guy. I would never, ever, if I heard somebody else, I would never be the guy to file the FCC complaint on this. And I think anybody who's been in broadcasting should act the same way. Now, I know that doesn't happen. I've seen people do awful things to other people in radio based off of jealousy, based off of years and years of fighting and who started it and who's wrong and who knows and who really cares. But I look at something like this and, I'm not offended personally. I don't think that the president should be using the F word. And, but that's okay if he does. I guess it happens. He was probably heat of the moment sort of a thing. I don't think he should be dropping it every couple minutes like he was Hendry or Tommy from Goodfellas. But I'm curious. I see something like this, and I'm curious to see what the media does with something like this. Does this become a huge deal, or does this lay by the wayside? And you want to know my honest opinion? 50-50 on whether it does or not. Whatever the president tweets from here on out, whatever Joe Biden says for the rest of today, there's a lot of things that can, if Stern signs a deal, there's a lot of things that can, knock these stories off of their virality mountains, as they go towards the top of the mountain. There's a lot of things that can happen. But if you get a quiet day and something like this, it could become that big part of the story. So let me know where you're at with that. Shared my thoughts on it. Like I said, I don't think it's that great that the president uses that word. It sounded to me like it was a slip. I wouldn't, I just move on with my life. I don't think that certain other people and members of the media will be moving on so quickly. So we'll see what happens there. And finally, got to mention this too. John Lennon's birthday today. One of the greats of all time. Huge Beatles fan. And just paved the way for so much. And the artistic side and the songs and him standing up for what he believes in. All the peaceful protests, all the great records. I still love that, even though he hasn't been with us since 1980, some 40 years ago. It's crazy to think that was 40 years ago. That his birthday is still a pretty big deal. I love that. I really, really do love that his birthday is it's trending on Twitter. People are sharing great moments. People are playing his music on the radio and on Spotify. They're in strawberry fields performing. There's artists performing right now at strawberry fields. I just love that this is still happening. I just love that that's still happening. John Lennon is one of the greats. Do you love John Lennon? Do you love the Beatles? Where are they in the pantheon of your musical choices? Let me know in the comments. Shoot me a tweet at Anthony's Faves. You can get all our links at anthonyonair.com. I'm always curious to know because, when you're growing up, and your parents are playing their music all the time, you kind of feel like the Beatles can get forced in on you, and it can kind of get a little annoying after a while. All right, the Beatles. But when you get down to it and you listen to their tunes, my God, they were just groundbreaking. They were just the first ones You know, they were the first ones to every sort of musical exploration, you know, whatever musical style there was, they were literally the first ones there. You know, they did everything first. Metal, like reggae, you know, with Obla Di, Obla Da. Not that they invented these genres, but they took these things to amazing heights. If they weren't the first to do it, they took them to amazing heights and did some unbelievable, incredible things with them. So, you know, I always like to pay a little bit of respect over to the Beatles. And finally, Kanye is tweeting. I'll just mention this quickly because Kanye tweeted a picture of somebody writing his name in on the ballot. And you see somebody wrote his name in on the ballot. Now, I had planned on, since the vice presidential debate, writing in the fly. That had been my sort of plan when voting for the president, but I might change that. I don't know. I don't like to exactly tell you who I'm voting for, nor do I care who you're voting for. I'm not here to change your mind. I could care less. You vote for whoever you want to vote for. I'm not here to sway you. I'm here to have a little fun, share some information, do a podcast. But Kanye is trending again. He just continues to hammer this away, and he has no chance at winning now. There is no chance of a Kanye presidency. I feel like this is all just flat out record promotion and just status promotion for Kanye West. Like that's all he's trying to accomplish. The shade in my studio has like kind of opened, and it's there we go. All right, that's better. It's glaring in on the camera. I was starting to hope it wasn't bothering you guys too much. Podcast people that are listening, like, what is he talking about? But yeah, Kanye, I think, is just trying to raise his status at this point. That's really all he's trying to do, is just pick up that status a bit. And I think it's working for him too. I mean, I hope he gets the help that he needs, but I definitely think that it is working for Kanye West. Don't forget to go visit our good pals over at Hero Soap Company. They make a phenomenal product. Like I said, the absolute best soap that I have ever had. You can click the link in the description, grab a couple of bars of soap. For every bar that you buy, they send a bar over to an active military member. And also part of the proceeds from all the sales goes to help building homes for veterans who have served, and they're looking to get them into homes without these massive oversized mortgages that veterans just flat out can't afford. So you can open up the camera app on your phone and just take a look at the QR code right there. If you just open up the camera app, it'll take you right to the link, and you can grab some bars of soap, which would be great. You can also save 20% on a subscription where you can choose, all right, I want 1 bar of soap per month, or I want 2 bars of soap every month, or you know what? Send me 3 bars of soap every 3 months. So I'm stocked up. I'm ready to go. I go my 3 months. Then 3 months comes. You send me another 3 bars of soap. You can pick or choose from all the different scents. And you have to know that they don't use any unnatural fragrance. There's nothing unnatural. There was no parabens in these bars of soap. And all the other major manufacturing soap brands, they put a whole bunch of stuff in there that you do not need, that is solely for them. These are fresh bars of soap. And that's what's so great about the subscription. You can continue to get fresh bars of soap sent to your home every 2 months or whatever you want to do. So you always have a good fresh bar of soap. You use it. You're not putting anything bad or chemically damaging onto your body. That's really, really important. Those parabens could be very, very bad. And there's none of those in Hero Soap Companies. That's why I absolutely fell in love with this product. And I push it on the podcast here. I don't push anything I don't really believe in. So if you want to help veterans, it's a veteran-owned company. These are made right here in the USA. If you want to help out, you want just like a really good product, Hero Soap Company, order those up. Link in the description of this episode, or you can click the banner on the homepage of anthonyonair.com. I want to thank Cuddles for joining us, being a little co-host action on the beginning part of this podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you share this episode on your social media. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button on Facebook and YouTube. If you're on YouTube, thumbs up this thing, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notifications. I've been hearing from so many people that are like, I subscribe to you. I hit the bell to get notifications, and I'm not getting notified. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. You know, we talk about some pretty sensitive things here sometimes, important things to me, to you. You know, you can go back and look at the last couple episodes to see the things that we cover. Why they're trying to put the kibosh on that, I don't know. But make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss out on YouTube. Make sure you hit that bell and select all notifications so that when we do put an episode out live, you'll be there for it and you can enjoy it and watching it. Same thing on YouTube. Don't just like us or follow our page. Make sure that you're following and you're getting all notifications so that we show up in your feed so that you see when we put new episodes on. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. All of our links are at anthonyonair.com. And if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, please rate and review. That is a huge, huge thing for us. That's it for this episode. I'll see you guys the next time. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here for a little bit.